have said it. Nigerian youths, they are complacent. They are quiet. All they do is grumble. We need to have constructive interaction. Do you understand? All I hear is grumblings and insults. That's not helpful. Do you understand? You guys, the country belongs to the youth. They should own it. Instead of a proper, what's the word, program or agenda, they will threaten a strike that, of course, everybody knows they're not going to go on. How does that achieve anything? But as he said, Nigeria is a mayday, mayday. I agree.
Your advice? No, your advice.
My advice?
Nigerian
The Nigerian government. My advice is to the Nigerian youth. My advice to the Nigerian people. This is your country. Own it. You have another country. I don't have another country. So we have to make it work. We have to do whatever is necessary to reclaim our country, whatever is necessary to make sure that this country works for everybody.
So people are saying that the government should cut costs.
I agree. Government should cut costs. So why should they cut costs? Have you made them cut costs? Tell me, have you? Other than you should.
But Nigeria has been putting pressure on the government.
How?
To reduce cost of government.
How have they been?
Every year.
Every year, what do you do to put pressure on the government? That by telling them that they should. I haven't seen a concerted complaint. I really haven't. And all I see is most people is about me. You understand? If I'm not, your direction to get things for other people may vary. Your direction may be very different from his, and vice versa. But let us see something. I want to see something. I'm sure other leaders want to see something. But all I see are young people who complain and constantly just insult their leaders. But they do not constructively engage the leaders. Do you understand? Your leaders are already your leaders.
Can you give us an example of constructive criticism?
Okay. Now you tell me something that really bothers you. Okay? All right. We all complain about the Minister of FCT. Right? Please tell me what you people all do. The minister is an emissary of the president. The president is the de facto. Is it a letter you guys have written to the president? Is it a complaint? Is it a platform? Tell me. None. All you do is insult him, insult the minister, insults me. How does that get you anything? Do you understand my point? I want to see things that will make a difference. Oh, we don't like this. We need you to do A, B, C, D. Okay, if you don't do it, we will do X, Y, Z. And then do X, Y, Z if they don't do it. And I'm sure most of the time, if you put enough pressure on any government, governments are defined by the well-being of the people. If you put enough pressure on any government, they will. It's not enough to say, I don't want dodo, but you don't say what you want to eat. Do you understand what I'm saying? So my advice is not to government, it's to you, the youth of.
I'll give you some breakfast in bed, honey, breakfast in bed, cocoa. Girl, you're the love of my life, and I excited tonight to give you.
Did you see that? Did you watch that? Did you listen to that? So she's saying Nigerian youths are complacent. She wants them to come out, to act, to question the government, to me, what I saw, to threaten the government and, act. Whatever the threat is, they should actually fulfill the threat. Now, this is a woman who is a member of she's a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, representing the FCT. And my first thoughts are, what has Ireti Kingibe done for the FCT that can stand out and say this is what Ireti has done in the FCT? Or what has Ireti done as a senator of the Federal Republic that we can always point and say, these are the special things Ireti has done? For you to come out and say the Nigerian youths are complicit, for you to come out to say the Nigerian youth should attack the minister of the FCT because he's not your friend, I don't know. It's for me, it's giving treason.
This is a very dicey story. And let's not forget, she's actually the sister of former head of state, the person of, she's a sister to the wife of the former head of state, Joke Mohammed, former Muritala Mohammed. So basically, she has been here from a very long time ago. So she should have an idea of how these things work. And it's not just today. And the very big question is, where are children? Are they here in Nigeria? That's a very good question also. Are children here in Nigeria? Because if our children are here in Nigeria, and obviously, and what has happened in time past from like the NSAS and all, and our children were actually part of what happened, would she stand here and say the youths are actually complacent? And it's not a story of today. We've seen whereby youths will obviously want to come out and talk, and next thing is that they're getting an anonymous message from people who are actually threatening them, or if they're not being threatened, is that they're getting kidnapped just because they are standing up. And it's not even just worth it, and it's a case of, if anything happens to me, do I have a country that would actually pay respect?
Would she stand and defend such people? Would she stand and say, okay, yeah, they went to protest about a particular situation. I'm here to defend them. Would she do that?
And it's
looking at the end bad governance that happened recently, like you said, which is very true. Our children were not there. I'm certain our children were not there. And you're coming out to say Nigerian youths are complacent. What about your children? What are they?
Yeah, and to some extent, there are times where when you look at these things theoretically, it's just, most of people just go online and just say so many things. But the people who are actually being realistic, people who are actually doing these things in reality, are those people that have been hurt badly. And from their experience, I don't think they are ready, or I don't think anytime soon they want to actually come out and want to stand for people, because these are people who are actually been born by fire, and next thing you're asking them to give out fire. It's not possible. And we just want the government to actually, and like you said, end bad governance. Before then, we've been seeing people saying, oh, the youths are actually lazy, this and that, let them come out. And
at least a former president said Nigerian youths are lazy. And they show that they are not lazy. And at the end of the day, you are saying they're being rude, they're doing too much, they're doing this.
We've seen situations where people would say, oh, let them come out and protest. Obviously, let them, if they protest, government to know that, they're actually coming out for their right. And we've seen situations whereby the first day they come out, and now you're seeing police everywhere putting out tear gas at people who are going out to do their protests peacefully. So what are we saying?
For me, I'm interested in statistics, and I don't know if anybody who is close to it is listening to this or watching this. And I want statistics. I want her to show me statistics. I want her to tell me the number of jobs she has created or provided for our constituency in the FCT, for the youths. I want her to show me. I'm not a fan of empowerment, but it seems in this part of the world, Nigeria, they do a lot of empowerment. And I know she's going to come out to say she's done empowerment. And I'm not talking about empowerment of sewing machines or shawarma grinding machines. I'm not talking of such empowerment. If she's coming out to say that's an empowerment, that is bottom barrel low. Now, I want her to come out to tell me, these are the jobs I've created for the youth. These are the reasonable empowerment I've done for the youth. These are the things I've done for the youth. So the youth should come out and defend. If you do not have these statistics, and that's, I'm saying it again, I love statistics. I want to see them. I want her to come out and show. But if you don't have these statistics, I don't think you have any right to say Nigerian youth are.
And one other thing is, like I would say, is the environment, is it favorable for we the youths? Like, because we have to deal with people who would say, oh, you're not ripe for this, you're not ready for this, go back home, let us still take charge of these things. And the environment is actually not helpful. We need a space, we need an environment where wherever you're going to, you're being accommodated. They're telling you, they're pushing you that, you can do this, you can do that.
What if the Nigerian youths are just sitting down and, I'm just saying, are just sitting down and learning and trying to see, okay, what way should we push? Or let's see how you guys are doing it. Well, that's what they say, sit and learn. For she to come out, she has also said it before, that when a senator came out to complain about a particular issue in the Senate, she said she's my daughter, and she's just talking. She should just sit down and learn how we do it. So what if Nigerian youths are just sitting down and learning, and they're knowing when to talk? Because they just come up, and I think she's coming out to talk. You saw she spoke about the FCT minister. She has issues
that's
with
a
the
personal
FCT
issue
minister.
with her.
She's saying, she has always said, I am the most senior elected officer in the FCT. That's her line.
So she's trying to push Nuke to the
I
side.
knew her very well with that line. So she's trying to say, I should get more respect. More respect should be accorded to me. Now, if you have issues with the FCT minister, deal with such issues.
Personally,
you should write the letter you want the youth to write. You should write the letter to the presidency or to the president and let them sort out whatever issues you have. But trying to push the youth, trying to pitch the youth against the government, because this is what she's doing. It's not right.
In recent times, we've seen situations where youths will obviously stand up, and obviously at the end of the day, is that they're getting injured, is that they're getting killed, and it's actually not encouraging. For someone like me, obviously, because I've actually not been a part of any protest before, but with what I've seen is actually not encouraging, because we're going out for a peaceful protest, and everywhere you're going, you're seeing police, armed policemen, and after an hour or two, next thing they're telling you to go back home, and instead of them to do it on the easy note, they are using tear gas, people get and force, and people are getting injured. So why would the youth actually be gingered
Why would
to
they
actually
even come out?
want to even come out? So
So
basically, the only thing we have now is just our social media,
Yeah.
and I feel that's the only thing that is really, really peppering them. Like, that's the only way we can get to them, and that's the only way our voices can be heard. Because at a point they had plans of wanting to say let them just ban X on in Nigeria, but I don't think those plans can actually work anytime, because that's the only means presently we can use to tackle this present government.
And I think it's fine if social media is the weapon for Nigerian youth to come out and voice their opinions, voice their complaints, because whether we like it or not, we need to be very honest, social media works. Because there's so many things you complain on social media, in few weeks or months, you see these things are changing. So social media works.
Like what you just said, a very good example is the NYSC girl that came out and said inappropriate words, but she was actually summoned at our local government, but thanks to the help of those who followed her, and after a week, they started paying them their the new salary, and then you're thinking, do we have to go through this stress for them to actually listen to us?
We are a society that we must go through calling people out before people do the right thing.
And let's not forget that if she didn't go there with those people, only God knows what would have happened to her, and we'll still be in the same situation of, don't worry, you get your new amount again. And after that day, the following week, things were put in place, and it's actually not that. It's actually not a long process. It's actually very simple. These are things that you just, the same way I'm thinking now, they're obviously thinking the same way too, so they know what to do. But it's just a situation of, but they don't want us to be in power just because of whatever they're enjoying, and they're not ready to actually step down, and you just want just for themselves and their family alone.
Power intoxicates, wealth also intoxicates, and I think that's one thing with them. But, you know, looking at the whole issue once again is, if she said Nigerian youths, the way they come out, yes, the choice of words might not be appropriate.
We
you see some tweets on X, you see some messages, and you're taken aback, like, the choice of words might not be appropriate. But yeah, once again, if you look at someone and say you're such a lazy youth, you don't know anything, you don't do anything, and then I sit back and I look like, the reason I'm in this situation is because you've not done anything as a government to improve my situation, and yet you're looking at me and calling me lazy. What job have you provided? And what way can I think about my future, and I'm not going to have setbacks and then regret that, why did I get here? You've not done anything.
Instead of things to actually get better for we the youth, obviously things are actually skyrocketing. We've seen so many prices of things go up, and the only means of where youths are even having to manage from is, let's say, the data back there, and now you have data at ridiculous amount, and people have to struggle for. So basically, it just raises so many questions, and I feel like we're a long way from achieving our aim as youth, and because we have to clear out some people who are obviously not supposed to be there. And the very big question is, those who are in power, how many of them have their children back here in Nigeria? Because you just come out and say different things and saying the youths are this and that. Basically, most of them have their kids outside
abroad,
the country.
Yes.
And places, they take their kids to places where they have a good work, the good system, where things are actually put in place, and you don't have to scream and yell for it, and they know that, yeah, these are things they should do. But over here, we are mixed with the situation of, they want you to come out, and even if when you're coming out, someone is actually there telling you, if you don't keep quiet, we're going to kidnap you. So
do you know this thing you say, that they're in a system where they don't need to scream and yell? So recently, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I thought about something like, do you know you can't, if you want to get many things done in Nigeria, you need to scream. You know, I just sat and I thought about it, like, you want to get so many things done in Nigeria, you need to scream. Like, you need to fight. You can't do it in a soft way.
Not just screaming. Like, they'll push you to that place where you would almost lose your life. And at the end of the day, you're wondering, was it even worth it at the end of the day? Because after your whole effort here and there, I'm wondering, at the end of the day, I'm left with nothing after the year. So for someone like that, is he even going to be moved to even want to come out and do anything next time?
But then looking at it again, you know, I feel Nigerian youth, I feel the situation of the country is what has hampered them to
just sit back.
To show their wealth of knowledge, their wealth of understanding. I think it's the situation of the country. But then sometimes you see Nigerian youths, they seem like they do not know where they're headed. And you know why I'm saying
that's a good one too, yeah.
You know why I'm saying that? Your fave, when he was in custody for a few days, I'm talking a very dark man. Nigerian youths were on the streets protesting, and I was wondering, protesting, why are you protesting? Protesting against what? Someone is in EFCC custody, is being investigated,
Like,
and you're outside protesting, causing traffic. Why?
Just like what you said. I see very dark man. Even if people won't agree, I see him as someone obviously who calls people out, people who are not doing things the right way, and that's a very good example also. He actually said something, and I think maybe he called someone out, and next thing you're arresting him, giving him title of I think money laundry or whatever. I don't know what they have, whatever they charged him with. And it was picked up, or they said social defamation. I don't even know what it was. But these are people who obviously who come out and speak for some certain set of reasons, and they want to shut him up at every means they get.
Well, they might want to shut him up. I don't know, but I'm not trying to be an advocate of any institution or any agency in Nigeria. But he was arrested because of reports of cyber stalking, and he needed to be investigated. It's valid. Any agency, security agency, can invite anybody for questioning. Iyabo Ojo was invited for questioning, and she did not come out to say, she didn't come out to say they invited me, they said I should know the money laundering. She came out to educate people.
Because obviously,
you can be invited for questioning.
Because obviously,
someone was invited for questioning. Nigerian youths are on the road. Why are you on the road? Why are you protesting? These are the reasons why people like Senator Kingibe will come out to say Nigerian youths are complacent.
Don't get me wrong. Very dark man is part of those people, part of those few youths that is willing to stand up for the voices of
the voiceless, indeed.
The voice of the voices, like you would say. So situations like this won't encourage those that want to do, that want to take part in, that want to take his steps. So I just feel they should, like I would say again, we need to have a conducive environment. We need to have a space where people would obviously come out and say whatever they want to in a good way, and not having to use abusive words, and they would feel safe at the end of the day.
As much as we're saying Ireti Kingibe, what she said doesn't stand, and then that she should, you can't say Nigerian youths are complicit, especially when we've not seen what you've done. We should also speak to Nigerian youths to do better. Look at, like I said, we're going to talk about, but we're running out of time. Look at JAM. You know, when you have people like Pella as your role models, you have these people talk to you anyhow. When you have people like Pella as your role model, when drugs is the order of the day, you have people talk to you anyhow.
The sad part is just like this JAM situation also. Like we see Pella also, you see him get invitations to places where on a normal day people with intelligence are supposed to be getting these invitations to, but someone who just came from nowhere and can barely even speak one or two English together, and you see him getting the high standards. Obviously, people who
an award.
People obviously who are well read, and people who are supposed to be getting awards for. So these are things that people will get demoralized. They feel that, oh, what have I been doing all this while? And someone from nowhere is obviously taking all the accolades. And now it's more of a social media thing, and most of our youths are literally always on social media every single time, wanting to do this challenge, wanting to do that, and it's actually not encouraging.
And you see, the JAM result, when we tell people speak English properly, because you know this JAM, even mathematics has to do with English, because your questions will be set in it. Speak this English properly, they will come out to tell you, it is not your mother's language, it is not your mother's. At the end of the day, the result has come out now.
It's actually
We've seen it, 75% down the drain.
It's actually so sad. It's so sad. So now we have schools actually we have schools that will obviously have to lower down their score.
I don't want to see that. And
that's what we end up at. That's what going to happen.
If that ever happens, I'm going to mention the names of the universities and I'm going to call them out. Let the 25% that got above 200, let them go to uni. Let them go. So we know that we have quality people in uni. We're going to below 200. No way.
In this money-driven country, that everything is about
money.
No
way. Those private universities, no way.
Okay.
Less than 200. That what? Do you know what less than 200 is? Less than 50%.
And they go to poly now.
No. Even we don't even want kind of people in. We want quality people in college of education, because they're going to teach your children. So we want quality people in college of education. But whatever it is, we're just trying to refute the claim that Nigerian youths, they're not complacent. Nigerian youths are hardworking. Sometimes they might be misdirected. Sometimes they may have bad choice of words when addressing or talking about their situations. But Nigerian youths are hardworking. Nigerian youths are not complacent. Before you can say that, you need to show us what you've done for Nigerian youths, and then we can have such conversation. That's so much we can take today, Dayo. It's time to leave.
In as much as I enjoyed myself, we have limited times, and limited time, and we have to go. I am Adedayo Kendi. See you next weekend.
Babumi baby, do enjoy yourself. Stay safe.
That the morning fantastic. See you with flam, put it on your tongue, then flip it up like gymnastics.